Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Tasneem. I'm the senior manager at 98 percentile in the HR department. And today we did a wonderful drive with XLR. It was amazing right from the very beginning, from the very first day when I got in touch with them till today. I think it was an extremely smooth journey with them. There were multiple follow-ups done by the representatives in order to check that we would be, what time would be coming, how many people would be coming, what vehicle we would get. To that extent, they were so precise in giving all the information to us. It was extremely great to get associated with them and have a drive at XLR campus. So we are very happy that we got a chance to do this. Now, coming to the students, what XLR had, I think they were extremely enthusiastic. They were well prepared. They were aware of what they are coming for. I think there was some back-end preparation which they did that was commendable. They also were very confident and they were open to any kind of thing we were asking them to do. That was I think the best part. Now, I really hope we have a very fruitful association with each one of them and XLR in future. We are really looking forward to have many more drives like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Prachi Sharma and I'm the Senior Project Manager for IT Department at 90th percentile. So today we were here for this IT bootcamp, right, this technical drive and at XLR. So it was a great experience and I would feel that the students, they are the freshers, right, but it doesn't seem like that. So if I talk about their technical and cognitive ability, they all seems pretty good in that and that's what I felt. And I guess they have been taught pretty well at XLR, so that's how they have performed good in their aptitude and the technical tests. So I wish them all the best and it was a very great experience over here.
Hi, this is Patan, Technology Consulting Manager from 98th percentile. We visited XLR for the campus placement drive and it went very well today. Miss Ambika, Miss Pragati, everyone received us greatly here and we had a lot of enjoyable time here. The students even had great experience with us. They were interactive, they had good aptitude and all the technological skills they showed. I think they were all well and we really appreciate their time that they spared to us and I think we will be doing a great job. We are expecting a lot of people to be hired from them. Let's see. it was a great experience altogether.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
From entering into the cyber tower to exiting out of this tower, the XLR team has been received me with such a care and pleasure.
I am the part of this XLR since 4 months. From the third month itself, they have conducted the placement sessions from the third month itself, and this is the fourth month, and this is the 98th percentile is one of the placement drive I have attended so far, and attending to this drive is such a good experience for me. All the HRs and the team made us feel very comfortable and confident.
XLR helped me a lot, and I experienced a lot of things today. So I'm really hope to be placed in that company. I'm confident about that. Thank you.
Hi, I am Karthik Rannan. I am the president of the Wall Street Club of BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives while they try to navigate the world of finance. I am happy that we will be able to close this workshop successfully on a very good note.
Hi, I am Raghunendra Singh and I am the Technical Director of the Wall Street Club at BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. It was a great amazing conducting this workshop with XLR. The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets, which was very helpful for the people who are interested in the field of finance, business or analytics in general. Thank you.
I attended a workshop conducted by CSA and ACM in collaboration with XLR. So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
The journey was great. Initially, I thought that I was not proficient enough in Excel, but later I came to know there was no prerequisites for it, and then I applied for it, and it was a great course, and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
Good evening, myself Kavya Ganatra. I am from Computer Science Association. I was the POC for this ML workshop conducted by CSA and ACM in collaboration with XLR. The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly, right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our technical fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it. Thank you.
Dear learners, very good morning. Good morning, guys. Are you able to hear me? Zoom and YouTube participants. Okay, so it's thank you for confirmation. Oh yeah, so earlier it's 10:40. So Abhishek sir, yes, please you can take it forward.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, guys. Good morning, all. Okay, so just for 2 minutes, give me the time. We'll start our session, okay? Just 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, shall we start our session?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Guys, what was the topic which we have discussed in the last session? Tokens, right? So in the tokens, keywords is done. Respond, someone respond. Kindly, just put a message in the chat box. Yes, keywords done. What about literals? Literals is not done. Okay, identifiers. Identifiers, yeah. I have told the rules of an identifier, right? Okay. So let us have a once quick revision, guys. Okay. First of all, let me turn on my camera. Yeah. Let me present my screen. Yeah, guys, can everyone able to see my screen? Fine. Kindly, yes. Hope. So in the last session, we have discussed about tokens, right? Yes. So what is this token? Basically, this token is a small individual unit of programming language. Programming language. Right? Yes. So among these tokens, where again it is classified into three types. So the first one is keywords. Keywords. Second, identifiers. And third one is literals. Yes. So what is this keywords? So already I told you keyword is a predefined word. Means it is already defined. So who has been defined? The people who has developed this Java, they have only defined some words. Those words are nothing but predefined words. So those words are class, public, static, void, etc. There are so many. Like this, there are 50 plus keywords in Java. So when time comes, we'll start discussing one by one. Okay. So need not to worry about that. So when it comes to keywords, your compiler can easily understand keyword. Why? Because if you take any keyword, whether class, public, static, void, any keyword, for example, take the class keyword. So why do we use class keyword? Because we use class keyword so that whatever the name we provide after this, for example, how you are declaring a class in a Java. So class demo you are creating, right? Like this. So you are using class and you are writing demo. So what is this demo? Demo is a class name. So you people know that is a class, and I know that it is a that is why we are declaring class keyword before that class name. So when you declare class name, okay, whenever you are declaring the class name, and before if you declare with class keyword, it means that then your compiler will come to know, okay, demo is a class name. Like that, each and every keyword in Java is assigned with a specific task, guys. Every keyword in Java is assigned with some specific task. So here, what is the task assigned to this class keyword? It says that whatever the name you give, so that is declared as class name. Clear? So till now, any doubts, guys? Voice is breaking. Maybe check your internet connection once. Is it clear now, guys? Guys, someone kindly respond. Yeah, voice is clear. Yeah, check your internet connection once. Narendra, once check your internet connection. Oh, so till now, any doubts here? No, right? So when it comes to keywords, your compiler will easily understand keywords. Like this, there are 50 plus keywords in Java. When time comes, we'll discuss one by one. Okay? Yes. The same way like public, static, void, for them also there is different task assigned. So when it comes to method concept, there we will discuss about public, static, void and all. Okay, now need not to worry. So just remember what is class and what is its main use. Fine. So then identifiers. So what is this identifiers? I already told you identify. So how will you identify someone? With the help of its name. So identifier is nothing but it's a name given to the component of a Java program. So can you give however the name you want? No, there are some rules for that. There are some rules in order to give a name. Rules of identifiers. So what are those rules? Rule number 1, that is identify should never start with number. It should never start with number. If you are starting with number, you will get compile time error. Second, rule number 2. You cannot use keywords as identifiers. So if you try to use, again you will get compile time error. Rule number 3. Special characters are not used except dollar and underscore. So you cannot use special characters except dollar and underscore. If you try to use anything other than this, you will get compile time error. So one more rule. What is that rule? Character space. Character space is not allowed. Character space is not allowed in between. So assume you are giving an identifier name, and in between, if you are giving a space, then it becomes two different names. So your compiler will get confused which one to know, like which is the actual name. So that is why your compiler will get confused, so that these character spaces are not allowed. If you try to use any character space, you will get compile time. This also we have discussed. Correct. So till here, any doubts you have, guys? Token and what is keyword, what is an identifier, rules of an identifier? No, right? Yes. Okay, very good. Now listen carefully. Listen carefully. I told you, if you don't follow any of the rule, whether if you are using a number or if you are using a keyword or if you are using anything other than underscore and dollar, and if you are using any space, definitely you will get what? You will get compile time error. You are strictly not allowed. So rule is means what? Rule means everyone should follow. In case if we don't follow the rule, we get compile time error. CT stands for compile time error. So that is why rules means everyone should follow. Okay. So along with these rules, there are something called as conventions. Listen carefully, very important. Conventions of an identifier. What is this conventions mean? Sir, we know rules. Just now we have discussed, we know rules. If we don't follow the rule, we will get compile time. Then what is this convention mean? So convention means, let me tell you, convention is nothing but it's an industrial standard, guys. Industrial standard. Or else you can call it as coding standard also. Coding standard. So what is this industrial standard or coding standard? Let me tell you. Listen carefully. Let me create a program. Java program 1, for example, assume. So here, if I want to give this name, class name is identifier because it is a name of the method. So main is also an identifier. Here this program 1 is also an identifier. We know that. So when it comes to the class name, for example, so forget about method. We still know we have not discussed. So forget about method. Let us stick to this class. Okay, only this class. When it comes to the class name, there are some standards which you have to follow, some coding standards. Why? Because let me tell you, so whatever the code you write, okay, whatever the code you write, you have to follow some standards. So if you follow those standards, whoever the other programmers, okay, so even they will also come to know what you have written. They will also understand your code. So if you are not following proper coding standards, then that code will not be understandable by others. Okay, so that is not an correct practice. So assume you are team leader. For example, he have given you a task to code something and to submit it. So what you will do, if you follow the right conventions and if you write the code, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Everyone will be able to understand. No issue. But if you are not following the proper conventions, then it will be understandable only by you. So others won't be able to understand what you have written. So that should not happen. Why? Because let me tell you, when it comes to class, right? Let me give one small example here. Listen carefully. When it comes to class, convention for class name. So how can we give a right convention for class name, that we'll discuss now. So assume if it is a single word, for example, demo, or else addition, or else if you want to give calculator, or else if you want to give it as test, etc. like this. So if you observe the class names, the first starting letter of the class name should be in uppercase and rest should be written in lowercase. The same way, if you want to give your class name as addition, so the initial character should be in uppercase and rest should be written in lowercase. The same way, here also uppercase, here also uppercase. So this is the right convention to give proper class name. Clear? Okay, sir, I won't follow the convention. What will happen? See, instead of giving this program 1, instead of taking this P as uppercase, I will give it as lowercase. You told, if it is a single word, starting letter should be in uppercase. But I won't follow the convention, sir. I will give lowercase only. Like, will it throw any error? Let us see. Let us see what happens. Listen carefully. Java C, program1.java, compile time successful. See, am I getting any error? No, I am not at all getting any error. It is compile time successful, and if you can run, yes, it runs perfectly. Means what did you understand by this? Rules are must. If you don't follow the rule, you will get compile time error. But conventions are not like that. Even though if you don't follow the right convention, you won't get any error. But it is highly recommended to follow the right convention. Why? I already told you. Whatever the code that you are writing, it should be understandable by other programmers also. If you are declaring like this, it is not at all a right way. So you have to mention the starting letter in uppercase, the starting character in uppercase, and the rest should be written in lowercase. Everyone understood? Understood or not? Please repeat that again. Yeah, I have repeated, right? Kindly, no, just put a message whether you understood or should I need to repeat it again. Guys, respond. So you are executing, sir. I am executing in command prompt. Okay. Listen. So if it is a single name, the starting letter should be in uppercase. What if it is a multi-word? Multi-word. If it is a multi-word, then how? So multi-word is nothing but, for example, square of number, power of digit. Okay, like this. For example, I'll write. Assume if you want to give your class name as power of digit. Power of digit. So if you look at this, this is multi-word. Power is one separate word, of is one separate word, digit is one separate word. So this is a multi-word. If you want to give your class name as a multi-word, then listen carefully. The starting letter of every word should be in uppercase, guys. Because if you take power, P should be in uppercase and rest should be written in lowercase. And in O should be in uppercase and other should be in lowercase. The same way in digit, D should be in uppercase and the rest should be written in lowercase. So this is one. And the next thing. So this is power of digit. Then square root. Assume you want to give your class name as square root. Then square root like this. Square is one separate word, root is one separate word. So the starting letter of every word, starting character of every word should be in case. So that is why yes should be in uppercase and R should be in uppercase and the rest should be written in lowercase. Understood, guys? Yes. Everyone? Oh. Yeah, guys. So now, remember the most important note here. If you don't follow the rule, I'm speaking about rule. If you don't follow the rule, you will definitely get compile time error. So you cannot, no, there is no lenience in that. You must and should follow the rule. As a programmer, you must and should follow. If you don't follow the rule, your compiler will throw an compile time error. But when it comes to conventions are like whether you follow or not, your compiler will not restrict you. Means it will not throw any error when it comes to conventions. But it is highly recommended to follow the conventions. Okay. This is the important note. If we don't follow any conventions, we don't get any compile time error. But it is highly recommended to follow. As a developer, you have to follow it. Why? Because whatever the code you write, that has to be understandable to others also. So that is why conventions are also very important. Along with rules, you have to follow conventions. But what is the main difference between rule and convention? If you don't follow the rule, you will get compile time error. Your compiler will restrict you. If you don't follow the convention, your compiler will not restrict, but still, as a developer, you have to follow it. So clear, right? Guys? Oh. We write multiple words as class name in which first letter in uppercase and all lower. Can we get no error? No error. If you don't follow the convention, no error. That is what it is. But you have to follow the conventions, right? Proper conventions. Yeah. So this is about literals, guys. So now we will discuss about. So now we have discussed till identifiers, right? So keywords are done and identifiers are done. So now we will discuss third one, that is literals. So what is this literals mean? So literals is nothing but data, guys. So what is this literals? Literals are nothing but data. Data which we use in Java program. Literals are nothing but data which we use in Java program. For example, we are trying to print something here, right? System.out.println and something we have mentioned in double quotes and we are printing something. So this double quotes is nothing but what? It is a data. Okay. So suppose if I want to print my name, For example, not only my name, take any name, assume Sheila. Sheila is one name, girl name. So this is nothing but what? This is name of a girl, Sheila. Yeah, it is also a data. Suppose if I want to print her age, okay, so age is nothing but a number. So how can I represent, for example, number 23? So 23 is her age. So like this. Here, what is this Sheila and what is this 23? These are all nothing but data, guys. So the data, whatever you are using in your Java program is nothing but literals. Okay. So when it comes to data, data is not of single type. So just now I have shown you. So if you look at this, so this is combination of characters. So which you call it as string in Java. So what do you call this as? This you call it as a string. Anything you mention inside double quotes like this, no? You call this as string, string in Java. And if you take this 23 is a number, correct? So like that, if you take data, data will not be of single type. Anything that is written, see, not only anything you have written in println. So normally I'm speaking. So here I have written in println, so that is why I'm taking this as a data here. Don't think like that. First listen what I'm telling. So here this Sheila and here this 23 is nothing but the data. So if you observe this data, these data are of different types, not of single type. It is of different types. This is a combination of characters. This is numbers like this. Different data we have. Different data are nothing but literals. Okay, so when it comes to data will be again classified into different types. So what are those types? We'll see. So in literals, first it is classified into primitive literals, and second one is non-primitive literals. Primitive literals and non-primitive literals. So what is this primitive literals? So primitive literals are again classified into numbers, character, and boolean. So what is this number? So just now we have discussed in number, again number is classified into two types, guys. One is integer number. So what is this integer number? For example, 10, 20, 100, etc. Okay, so these type of data are nothing but integer. So decimal numbers. 3.24, 4.6, 7.26, like this. So these type of data are called it as decimal. So we in name itself it says decimal. So whatever the data we have after this decimal point, okay, so this we call it as a decimal point. So that's why it is called as decimal data. So if you don't have any decimal, then you call it as integer. I hope we already know this integer number, decimal numbers. Yes. So when it comes to character, so what is a character? See, anything you enclose within single quotes like this is nothing but a character. Anything you enclose within single quotes. For example, small a, capital P, anything. Okay, and numbers from 0 to 9, and some special characters like this. Anything you enclose within single quotes are considered as a character. Then what is this boolean? Boolean is nothing but only true or false. True or false, you call it as boolean. Then what is this non-primitive data? Non-primitive data, again it is classified into two types. One is string. One is string and another one is object. Okay. So basically, so let me again explain all whatever I have discussed. So basically, literal is nothing but a data. So the data which we use in Java program is nothing but a literal. So in this data, again, it is further classified into primitive data and non-primitive data, or else primitive literals or non-primitive literals. So what is this primitive literals? Simply you can define primitive literals as primitive literals are single value data. Primitive literals are nothing but single value data. Non-primitive are nothing but multi-valued data. Again, in primitive, it is again classified into three different types: number, character, boolean. So number it is again classified into two types: integer number, decimal number. Integer number, these are the examples, and decimal numbers, whatever the numbers you have the value after decimal is nothing but decimal values. And when it comes to characters, anything which is enclosed within single quote is nothing but a character. And boolean. So true or false, we call it as boolean. And when it comes to non-primitive data, examples of non-primitive data are string and object. Because already I told you non-primitive data are nothing but multi-valued. So that is why if you observe here, CLA, I have represented it with double quotes because it is multi-valued. S is one character, H one character means it is combination of characters. So that is why it is a multi-valued. That is why you have to represent with double quotes. So whatever you represent with double quotes like this it is called as a string. And about object we will discuss. When we start OOPS concept, there we'll discuss what is the main use of object. Clear? Yeah. So now we'll have a quick introduction about string. So what is the string? The string is a non-primitive data, first of all, as we discussed. And anything which you have mentioned in double quotes, that we can consider as a string. For example, what are all the things I can enclose with double quotes? Anything. For example, your name. Okay. Your name, you can enclose within double quotes. Why? Because it is a multi-word it is. I mean, multiple characters are present. So that is why you have to represent with double quotes. And for example, my email ID. Like this. And for example, password. So assume my password is a combination of numbers and as well as characters. Then how can I mention, for example, like this? Something like this, my password. So these are all, if you observe, these are all multiple data it is. It is not single valued, it is multi-valued. So that is why we have to mention using double quotes. Clear, guys? Understood what is literals? Literals, we have four types. A string comes under non-primitive. Sai Shravanti, string comes under non-primitive, not primitive. So first, listen what I am teaching. Okay. Yeah, so understood? Understood what is keywords, what is identifiers, and what is literals, guys? Very important. These are all fundamentals. You must and should know. And about object, I will teach you. When it comes to OOPS concepts, there we'll go and there we'll learn about object. Now it is not required. Now if I teach also, you will not understand. Okay. Yes. So now, listen. me create a new program. Referrals. So let me give you one small scenario, guys. Okay. Yeah, listen. So write a wait. First of all, let me give one small example. Then I will give you this task. Okay. So listen. Now assume I need to print name. So how can I print the name? So how can I print the name, guys? So name is single valued or multi-valued? Multi-valued. So can I print the name directly like this? Can I print directly like this? No. I cannot print my multi-valued name like that. So how can I print? If you want to print my name, you have to enclose with double quotes. See, now it is proper. So this is a multi-valued, which is nothing but string. Yes. And for example, assume I need to print my ID, employee ID. So now if you look at my employee ID is a combination of both characters as well as numbers. It is combination. Okay, both numbers are present as well as characters also present in my ID. Now tell me, how can I print my ID? Yes, double quotes. Yes, very good. Double quotes like this. Something EMP 1452. So this is my employee ID. Also, so this is also treated as string. Why? Because this is also a multi-word. Here characters are also present as well as numbers are also present. So it is a multi. Okay, so that is why I have to mention it in strings. For example, I need to print my age. Whether it is like I want to print my age, not in years, guys. Like I don't want to mention it in words. I want to mention it in number. Then how can I? Yes, correct. So directly, if it is number, directly I can mention it as in numbers. Okay. Now assume I want to print my salary. My salary. Think and tell. If you take salary, salary is in what kind of data? Salary is what kind of data? Number? Yes, very good. Yes, yes. In this number, whether is it integer number or decimal number? Guys, think and tell. Is integer number or decimal number? Decimal. Why? Because I will tell you, listen. If you take your salary, in your salary, there will be paise also. See, like this. Rupees. Assume some 10,000 rupees. Dot. Paise also will be there. Means this is nothing but rupees. This is paisa. So after decimal point will represent it. Means is it integer or decimal? Decimal. So this is integer. Always remember your salary will be in decimal format or float. Okay. Don't get confused. And assume I need to print my initial. So my initial is A. How can I print that initial? Initial is single valued or multi-valued? Single valued. Yes, it is single valued. Only A. So I can mention it with single quotes like this. Okay. And assume I want to mention my marital status, whether I am married or not. So assume I have to represent it with Boolean. If true means married, false means unmarried. So how can I mention? So for Boolean data, directly you can mention whether is it true or false. Directly you can mention like this. Okay. Understood, guys? No, not capital. See, this true and false is also a keyword. So that is why it is getting highlighted with blue color text. Okay, keyword should be represented with lowercase, guys. Don't get confused. Okay, yes. So this is a character. Why? Because I have enclosed within single quotes. And this is Boolean date. Understood? So which type of data you have to print it in which format? Understood or not? Clear? Very good. So let me save this. Let me print Java C literals dot Java. Compile time successful. Java literals. See, am I getting my name, employee ID, my age, salary, initial and marital status? Clear? Okay. Guys, now listen carefully. So here, directly I am printing the data. So whatever my name, my employee ID, whatever the data I have, directly I am printing like this. So if I print the data, what happens? So once if the execution of these statements are done, okay, again I cannot go back. For example, assume this first statement execution is done, which means Abhishek got printed on the screen. And once the execution of the statement is done, the control will come to next statement. Okay? Yes. So after printing this, control will come to next statement. So once the execution completes, it will go to next step, next step, next step. But assume I am in this line number 7. Do you think again it will go to previous fifth line or sixth line? Will it go? Will my control go back? No, definitely not. Definitely not. So once if you are printing the data, means that's all. Once execution is done, that's it. Again, control will never go back. But assume I want to use these details further. I want to use these details further whenever I want. Then if I'm printing directly like this, do you think I can use it again and again, guys? Do you think once if I'm printing like this, can I use it again and again? No, definitely not. We cannot use it. Then I want to use it again and again. If you want to use it again and again whenever you want, in this particular case, you have to store the data. Correct or not? If you store the data somewhere, then only you can use it whenever you. Yes, correct. You want to store the data. So how can I store the data here? So that is what the main concept today. Listen carefully, guys. Very, very, very important concept. If you want to store the data, you need to create variables. So what is this variables? So already I have given a small introduction about this in previous classes. What is this variable? Simply we can say variable is a container which is used to store data. Simply we can say variable is a container which is used to store the data. Container. Okay. Yes. But there is one thing which you have to remember here. If you want to declare variable, we need to specify data type. Listen carefully. Note. If we want to create variable, we must specify data types. So what is this data types? I'll tell you. Listen, guys. So assume I'll ask you people, guys, I need to store my laptop and I need to store some books. I need one container. I need a box. Okay. So in this case, what you will do, you people will go and get me a large box. Yes or not? Where I can store my laptop and where I can store some books. Correct? And yes, if I tell you, guys, I need one small tiffin box where I can store some idli and where I can store some chutney into that. In this case, what you will do, in this case, you will go and get me a small tiffin box. Correct? Yes. Assume. I'm not mentioning you. Get me the big box or get me the tiffin box. I'll just tell you, guys, go get me one box. So what you will think? So you people will go and bring one small tiffin box. So in this tiffin box, I will try to store my laptop and I will try to store my book. Is it possible to store? No, definitely not. So next time, again, I will tell you, guys, get me a box. So what you will think in this case? So already previously I have taken him one tiffin box, but he trying to store one laptop and books into that, which was not possible. Maybe this time also he will try to store that. So let me get a huge box to it. So what you will do, you will get me a huge box, big size box. So in this time, what I will do, I will try to store some idli and I will try to store some chutney into that huge box. Do you think does it matter? Does it make any sense? No, because let me tell you, here the problem is not with you. The problem is with me. I need to specify you which type of box I want. Whether I need to store tiffin in that, or else should I need to store something very huge in that. I need to specify. Get me a tiffin box, or else get me a huge size box. So that I have to specify for you. Clear or not? The same way, if I want to store the data into a container, I need to tell my compiler. I need to inform my compiler first. Because the same way, assume I'm telling my compiler to create some container. So what my compiler will do, my compiler will create a huge container. But if you are trying to store small data into that, does it make any sense? No. Why? Because the memory is getting wasted. So that is the reason why you have to inform your compiler. Compiler, I need small type of container. Or else compiler, I need huge type of container. Because if you specify the compiler, your compiler will come to know what type of container it should create. Whether small container it should create or huge container it should create. Why? Because memory should not get wasted here, guys. So that is the main aim. Memory should not get wasted. So that is why we have to specify that. So how will you specify? With the help of data types. With the help of data types, we will specify how much size container we need. Understood? Understood or not? Guys, respond. Yes. So before going to the variables, now first of all, we have to discuss about data types. What is this data types? Data types are used to create variables. Data types are used to create variables of specific type. Specific type. Yes. So when it comes to data types, there are, again, it is classified into different types. Okay, that we'll discuss. So data types. Guys, how many types of data we have? I mean, how many types of literals we have? Primitive literal, non-primitive literal. Yes. Yes. To create primitive data type, we have primitive data types. And to create non-primitive data types, we have non-primitive data types. Two types also we have here. For primitive data, we have primitive data types, and for non-primitive data, we have non-primitive data types. Now let us discuss about primitive. Okay, primitive data types. Primitive data types. So what is this primitive data types? Primitive data types are used to create primitive variables. Are used to create what? Primitive variables. Why you want to create a primitive variables? To store primitive data. To store primitive data. For example, number, character, boolean. Those are all you can store in primitive variables by declaring primitive data types. Clear? Yes. Now we will see the various different types of primitive data types. Different types we'll see. First one, byte, chart, int, long, and then float, double, and then char, and last boolean. Listen carefully, guys. These 6, byte, short, int, long, float, double. These 6 are used to store number data. These 6 are used to store number. Are used to store number data. Byte, short, int, long, float, double. And this float and double is float and double. These two are used to store decimal data. And this byte, short, int, long, these 4 are used to store integer data. And about char is used to store character, and boolean is used to store boolean. That we know. But if here you people may have a doubt here, guys. Sir, to store number data, why do we need these 4? Means to store integer, why do we need this 4? Byte is also store integer, short is also store integer, int is also store integer, long is also used to store integer number. So why do we need 4 types here, guys? Let me tell you, if you take this byte, short, int, long, no, so each and every data type will have some range. Let me tell you, if you take byte has some range. That range is nothing but minus 120 82 plus 127. So this is the range for byte. Means if you want to store the data inside byte, so only from this numbers to this number you can store. From minus 128 to plus 127 only you can store. So other than this range, you cannot store other data, huge data you cannot store. Understood, guys? Yes, yes, I will share the PPT. Once the class is done, I'll share PPT. Just listen to the class. So I'll share you that. Understood, guys? Guys, respond. Your response is very important for me. If you don't understand this, I cannot go further. Yes. So if you take anything, if you take, for example, byte has some range. That is minus 128 to plus 127. Assume if you want to store 128 or 129, or else if you want to store beyond this, you cannot store inside byte. Then you have to go for chart. Okay, like this. Chart also has some range. Okay, so chart also will have some range, and only till that range you have to store. So it is not necessary to know all these ranges. Okay, so not required. First declare byte, store a number. If that number is storing successfully, then you can use byte. For example, if it is not storing, then go for short. Short is unable to store, then go for int. If int is also not able to store, then go for long, like this. So long is the highest. You can almost store like any number of like very huge number inside long. Long can store a very huge number of integer data, like this. Each and every data type will have some range. Okay. And when it comes to float, float is used to store decimal data, and even double is also store decimal data. So out of this, float can store very less decimal data, but double has the capacity to store huge data. Okay. So now let us discuss their sizes as well. So when it comes to byte, the size of the byte is 1 byte. This is data type. This is size. Okay. So when it comes to short, size of short is 2 bytes. And int, the size of int is 4 bytes. Then long, the size of long is 8 bytes. And float, the size of float is 4 bytes. And double, the size of double is 8 bytes. Char, the size of char is similar to short, that is 2 bytes. And boolean, boolean is 1 bit. 1 bit, guys, not byte, 1 bit. Actually, 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay. So 1 bit, why? Because we are representing with 1 0. Yes or not? So true means 1. So true means 1. We are representing with binary. And false means 0, like this. So this just occupies 1 bit. Clear? So these are all the sizes. Yes. So remember these sizes. So now listen carefully. Still it is not over. There is some default value, guys. So we'll see what is this default values. For time being, remember. So default value for byte is 0. For short is 0. For int also 0. For long it is 0 L. L represents it is long. 0 L. For float it is 0.0 F. F is nothing but float. For double, it is 0.0 or 0.0 D. D represents double. For character, it is /u followed by 4 zeros. And for Boolean, it is false. So remember this. I'll explain you what is this default values. Okay. Guys, any doubts in data types? I'll tell you what is default. Now I'll tell you. After completing this variable, I'll tell you. Understood, guys, till here? Hey, no need to copy. Just listen to the class. I will provide you PPTs. In that PPTs, everything is mentioned. No need to copy. I'll give you the notes. I have the PPTs. Need not to copy. I'll tell you. Default values, I'll tell you. Just have 2 minutes of patience, I'll tell you. So just understand till this. I'll tell you now. So this is about data types, guys. Primitive data types. Now, primitive variables. Primitive variables. So what is this primitive variable mean? Already I told you primitive variables are used to create what? Primitive containers means primitive variables. Okay. So to store what? To store primitive data. Okay. Primitive variables are used to store primitive data. So how can I declare a primitive variable? Example, listen carefully. How can I declare a primitive variable? First, if you want to declare a variable, you need to specify data type. Assume I want to create a variable. Listen carefully here. Assume I am creating a variable, something A. A variable I am creating. I want to store 10 data into it. Listen carefully. 10 is of what kind of data? 10 is what kind of data? Integer, correct? Integer number? Yes. Yes. Listen carefully. To store integer number, how many data types we have? To store integer, yes, 4. What are they? Byte, short, int, long. Correct? Yes. Sir, among these, which one should I need to use, sir? Let me tell you, nowadays we are not bothered about storage, guys. Why? Because we have enough number of storage. In olden days, leave it. If you want to know, purchase small amount of storage, it will cost like in lakhs, crores. But now storage is very less. Okay, so need not worry about storage. If you want to store integer, no, directly you can make use of int. Not at all a problem. Whenever you are encountering an integer number, directly you can make use of int. Okay, yes, like this. So here, if you observe, int is a data type. Int is a data type. A is a variable name. Variable name. Name means what? Identifier means this is also an identifier. N is data. Clear? So now, how can you declare? So what is the syntax to declare? The syntax to declare a variable is first data type followed by variable name is equal to data. So this is the syntax and this is the example. Understood, everyone? Clear? Yes. Now listen carefully. I will tell you what is default value. Listen. So if I declare like this, see, if I declare like this, int a is equal to 10, like this. In this case, what happens? Your compiler will create one container like this, small container. So what is the container name? A. So the container name is A, and this 10 will be stored inside that container. Here? Yes. So here, this part, we call it as declaration part. Listen carefully. This part we call it as declaration part. Which one? Data type, variable name. Data type plus variable name, we call it as declaration part. And the data you are initializing. So this we call it as initialization part. Initialization part. So these are technical terms. Listen carefully. This you have to know. So combinedly, what you call it? Declaration and initialization. So if you are doing like this, int a is equal to 10. Int a is equal to 10. You are declaring as well as you are initializing. So you call this complete statement as declaration and initialization. For example, if you are declaring like this, int a, but you are not initializing. So this you only call it as what? Declaration. This we can only call it as declaration. We are not initializing any data. In this case, what happens? A container will get created, and in this case, default values will be stored. Default values will be stored. So what is the default value for int? What is the default value for int? The default value for int is 0. So in this case, 0 will be stored. Understood? Yes. So you are declaring, but not initializing. You are not initializing any data. So in this case, default values will be stored. Default values will be stored. So the default value for int is 0. Clear? Understood, guys? Yes, everyone. Yes, very good. Listen. So this is for primitive data. So what about for non-primitive data? Listen carefully. So for non-primitive, non-primitive data type. For non-primitive data type, we have, for example, two types. That is string, and second one is object. So about object, we are not going to discuss now. So now it is not required. For time being, need not to worry about object. So now let us discuss about string. So what is string? Anything which is enclosed within double quotes is known as string. So to represent this string, basically string is a multi-valued. The data type which we are using for string is string only. Remember here, S should be in uppercase. Suppose assume, if I want to store my name, so my name is in multi-valued, means I have to represent it with string. So if I want to store it, my name in some variable A, assume. So I need to declare the data type. So what is the data type I have to declare? That is string, guys. String is the data type to create a variable of string type. So the data type is string, variable A, you can store the date. Clear? Yes. And for example, for character, you have to use char. And for boolean, you have to use boolean. Oh. So now listen carefully, whatever the example we have taken, right? Yes, this example. So without directly printing like this, can't we take it in a variable and can't we print it? Yes. Shall we store it in a variable and shall we print it? Wait just a second. So we have previously directly we have printed the value. Now my main aim is I want to store it in a variable and I want to print. So that is the main task. Yeah. Tell me how can inside one variable called as name. Okay. Like this. So now what is the data type I should use, guys? What is the data type? What is the data type I should use? String. Yes, correct. So in string, remember S should be in capital case. It should be in uppercase. Yes, like this. Now where this name is stored, Abhishek, this Abhishek name is stored in name variable. The variable name is also name. Okay. Now the same way for my employee ID. Employee ID is also a string. Employee ID, or else I will directly give ID is equal to, I'll just copy paste it. No. Age. Age is equal to 20. No, it is a number. So how can I store it? Yes, very good. Int. So directly you can declare it with int. Yes. So next. Then what about my salary? So what is the data type I have to declare? Yes. See, double, you can make use of double. So not at all an issue. You can go with float. Yes, or else you can make it as double. So if you want to go with float, no, for example, salary. In this case, you have to mention 10,000 dot 34 F you have to mention. So F is nothing but float. Okay. If you want to store it in float, you have to do like this. For example, if you want to do it with double, then no need to mention F. Need not. So directly you can go for double or float, your wish. Then this is a character. Char of some init is equal to A, like this. And this is Boolean status, marital status is equal to false, like this. Clear, guys? So now if you want to print the data, so how will you print? Assume I need to print my name. Where my name is stored? My name is stored in name variable. So directly you can use name, ID, age, salary, init, status, like this. Clear, guys? Yes, you have to use the variable name, ID, age, salary, like that. So now let us compile and execute. Compile time successful. See, I am getting same data. Means now I am successfully storing the data. In a variable, I am successfully storing. So whenever you want, you can use it, and how many times you want, you can use it. So this is the advantage of variables. So when you want to declare a variable, you need to specify the data types. So what is the data type? Data type is used to create a variable of specific type. Okay, clear? Can't we store all data in one variable, sir? All data, no, that is again, it comes in object. So that we'll discuss. When it comes to object, there we'll discuss about this. Yes, so this is the right convention. For variable, you have the right convention is you have to declare in lowercase, guys. You have to declare in lowercase. Okay. For example, if it is multi-word, for example, assume ID. I have it is a single word. Directly, I have given ID. For example, if it is a multi-word, for example, employee ID, then you have to give like this EMP ID. So the first letter should be in lowercase, and the second word, first letter should be in uppercase. This we call it as camel case. Okay. Yes. Or else if you don't want to give, or else directly you can give it in single word also. Directly normally ID in lowercase you can. Clear no? Where? Third line. Okay. This args. See, this is also a variable name. This is a variable name like this. How I am giving name, ID. The same way args is also a variable name. It's a name. You can give it anything. Okay. Can give any name here. Not at all an issue. Any name you can give. Where also you can give anything you can. It is just a name of the variable. Why is clear now? That is again a different concept that we will see further. Okay, now till now you understand this. Oh, very good. So now any doubts in creating a variable, any doubts in data types? No, right? Oh, now listen carefully. Now we'll discuss one of the most important and interesting concepts. So I told, right, byte, short, int, long, double, float. So these are all number data types. Okay, remember one note here. Number data types in so number data types in increasing order. Means what are the number data types we have? We have byte, we have short, we have int, we have long, we have float, and we have double. Okay. Number data types I am speaking, only number data types. So listen carefully. Byte is less than short. Short is less than int. Int is less than long. Long is less than float, and float is less than double. So this is the increasing order, guys. Remember this. First comes byte. So compared to byte, the biggest is short. So bigger than short is int. Bigger than int is long. Bigger than long is float. Bigger than float is double. Clear? This is very important to remember. Okay. So remember this. Byte, short, int, long, float, double. So this is the increasing order of rings. Why I am saying? Because the next concept is linked with this. Okay. So here you people may have a doubt. Sir, byte is used to store, like the size of the byte is 1 byte. The size of the short is 2. The size of the int is 4. And the size of the long is 8. the size of the float is 4 and the size of double is 8. So here you people may have a doubt. Sir, you told the size of long is 8 and the size of float is 4. But how can you say that float can store more data compared to long? Like, did you get what I am saying? So whether you people got this doubt or not? Listen carefully. The size of long is 8 and the size of float is 4. But I am saying long is less than float. Means which is the highest here? Float is the highest. But the size is less. If you take the size, when it comes to size, it should be long, right? Then why you are saying this? Let me tell you, long is used to store only integer data, means integer numbers. Integer numbers. So capacity is less. But float is used to store decimal, means after decimal point it can store. So that is why it is greater. Clear? Yes. After decimal values it can store. Yes, correct. Remember this. So these are all very minute things which you have to remember, because sometimes interviewer may try to confuse you here also. So now, once again, see nothing. Basically, I told long is less than float. It means which is the greatest here? Float is the greatest. But the size of float is 4 only. But long is 8. So even though the size is 8, even though the size of long is 8, it is less than float only. So how means it can store only integer numbers and float can store decimal numbers. That is why it is greater. So that is the main thing. Guys, listen carefully. The most important concept, typecasting. Very important concept for your interview also. And as a programmer, you should know what is typecasting. As a developer, this typecasting is very important. This will happen everywhere, typecasting. So what is this typecasting? So normally I will tell you, forget about Java. Forget about Java. So what do you mean by casting, guys? What do you mean by cast? Yeah, float can store decimal values, not integer. Decimal numbers. Float can store decimal numbers. So wait, listen. That is what we are going to discuss in typecasting. Listen carefully. After this typecasting, you will understand. So what is cast? Like normally I'm asking caste. We'll call it as religion, and in that subdivisions are there, right? So that is what caste means, like basically. So here, what is this typecasting then? So typecasting is nothing but converting. Converting we can say, or conversion we can say. So what is this conversion? Converting from one type to another type. Converting one type to another type. This is what casting is. Yes or not? So basically the typecasting meaning I'm saying, I'm not in Java, like basically I'm saying. So converting one type to another type. So what is this type? This type is nothing but cast. So even in our real world also, like most of the people will do conversions, right? So initially they'll be in one caste, and if they don't like, so based on their requirements and based on their preference, from one caste to another caste, they will try to convert. So that converting from one caste to another caste is nothing but typecasting. The same way, the variables also will perform their castings. Means the variable also will convert from one caste to another caste, they will convert. So this converting from one caste to another caste is nothing but typecasting. Okay. So yeah, even this data types also have the castings, right? Just now we have discussed this byte, short, int, long, double float, all these are all cast only. These are all the caste. These are all the subdivisions. So converting from one caste to another caste is nothing but typecasting. Okay. So in this typecasting also we have two types, guys. One is primitive typecasting and another one is non-primitive typecasting. So what is primitive typecasting? Converting one type of primitive data to another type of primitive data. Converting one type of primitive data to another type of primitive data. And what is non-primitive? Converting one type of non-primitive data to another type of non-primitive data. Another type of non-primitive data. So this is what non-primitive typecasting. So till now we have not discussed about any non-primitive data about objects. So now don't worry about non-primitive. In OOPS concepts, we will discuss about this non-primitive data. For time being, concentrate on only primitive typecasting. What is primitive typecasting? Converting one type of primitive data to another type of primitive data. So in this primitive typecasting, again it is divided into two types. First one, widening. First one is widening. Second one is narrowing. So now let us discuss what is this widening and what is this narrowing. Very important. First one, widening. Widening is nothing but converting smaller range data to higher range data. So remember, the name itself says converting smaller range data to higher range data. So what is the smaller range to higher range? Simple, assume I have byte some A is equal to assume 10. Right? Yes. And I have now int some B is equal to A I will do. Means what I am doing? I am storing A value inside B. So B is of what type? B is of int type. A is of what type? A is of byte type. Means I am converting byte type data to int type. Listen, when compiler encounters here, what happens? It creates a container of A type and it will store 10. So this A is of what type? It is of byte type. So when controller encounters here, what happens? It will create one B type container, and what I am storing in that? I am storing A data. Means A is of what type? Byte type. So byte type data will be stored. Now this B is of what type? It is of int type. Means I am trying to convert this byte type data to which type here? Int type. Means I am converting byte to int. Yes or not? So this byte to int, when you take byte and int, so which is the which is smaller range and which is higher range? Which is smaller range and which is higher range? Byte is smaller, int is higher. Means I am converting smaller range data to higher range data. So this is nothing but widening. Understood, guys? Understood? Understood what is widening? Yes. Converting smaller range data to higher range data. For example, listen carefully. Assume I have, let me take that example only. Byte A is equal to 10, int B is equal to A. So here what I am doing? I am doing widening process. So if I print A, what will be stored inside A? What kind of data A is? Byte only, means 10 is the output. And if I print B, what is stored inside B? 10 only. But the type of the data, initially it is byte, now it is getting converted to int type. See, listen carefully. While I'm successful, typecasting. See, this is A value, this is B value. Initially, the value which is stored in A, that is byte type. Then that byte I am converting it to int type. That is what widening is. Understood, guys? To make you more clear, let me take one more example here. Listen carefully. This time, I'll take int A is equal to some 10 I will take. And the 10, I will convert it to double. Tell me what kind of process is this? What, from which type to which type I am converting here? Into to double, not float, double. Into to double. Into to double means widening process. Widening process. So what is happening here? Listen carefully. Listen carefully, I'll explain what is happening here. Listen guys. So this is what I have done. So when compiler encounters this line, so a container will get created. And how much is stored inside that? 10 is stored. And what is the container name? Container, like what type it is? Intertype container it is. When compiler encounters this line, in this case, B container will get created. Okay, assume this is B container. And what I am trying to store in that? A type data I am trying to store. But A type is of what type? It is of int type. I am trying to store in which type of container? Double container. I am trying to convert int. I'm trying to convert So here I am trying to convert into to double. Convert into to double here. So int is of smaller range data and double is of higher range data. Means it is widening process. So here what happens, this 10 int type will get converted to double type, that is 10.0. So if I print A, what is the output? If I print A, the output is 10, and if I print B, what is stored inside B? Double, that is 10.0. See if you want. If I print A, 10. If I print B, 10.0. The int type getting converted to double type. See if you want. See, initially it is int type. Then I am converting and I am storing it in double. That is why it is converting into a double type. Understood, guys? Why we are doing this? I'll tell you. Oh, listen, I'll tell you. First, let me complete this. Then you will only understand. Understood or not? Listen carefully. So this is about widening process. When it comes to widening process, this widening can be done automatically, guys. I'll write one note. Okay. So widening can be done implicitly or automatically, you can say. Automatically. Can be done implicitly or automatically by the compiler. If you observe here, directly I am assigning a value to b. Means I am assigning int value to double. Directly I am assigning. Am I doing any conversions here? No. Directly I am assigning the value. So I am not converting. So who is the one converting here? Our compiler is the one converting it. Our compiler performing the typecasting. It is only converting. We are not doing. So that is why this widening process is also called as, auto widening or implicit widening. Don't get confused. If I tell widening or auto widening or implicit widening, all these three are same. Why? Because it is automatically done by the compiler. We are not doing it. We are just assigning. Internally, your compiler is only doing. Okay. So now we will discuss about narrowing. So what is this narrowing? So it is just vice versa. So widening is converting smaller range to higher range. This is converting higher range data to lower range data. Converting higher range data to lower range data is nothing but narrowing. Okay. For example, assume I have double of sum A is equal to some 10.2 I have. or some 10.24 I have. And if I convert that to int of b is equal to, I'll assign a. So here a is of what type? A is of double type. B is of int type. This double I am converting it to int. So which is the highest here? Double is the highest. Int is the lowest. I am converting highest to lowest. It is what kind of process? Narrowing. It is narrowing. Here guys, what is narrowing? Understood? I'll tell you, listen. First listen to what I say. Then you will only understand. First understand what I am saying. After the concept, I will only ask you, do you have any doubts? Then you can ask me all your doubts. First, till concepts gets over. So have some patience and listen properly to it. So assume, let me declare double of A, some 12.34 I will declare. Okay. And let me convert it to B is equal to A. So what kind of process this guys? Converting double to int, that is narrowing higher range to lower range data. So now what happens? So if I print A, what is the output? Obviously 12.34. So if I print B, what happens? So that we will check. Listen carefully. What happens here? If I try to compile it, I will get compile time error. See, incompatible type, possible lossy conversion error from double to int it is showing. Possible lossy conversion error from double to int means what? When you are converting this double value, means this A to lower range value, that is B, we are getting an error. Why? Let me tell you, listen properly. So assume I have 1 liter bottle, guys. So assume this is 1 liter bottle. Listen carefully. Very important concept it is. So the capacity of the bottle is 1 liter. So now this 1 liter bottle is completely filled with water. And now I have 2 liters bottle. So the capacity of this bottle is 2 liters. So this 2 liter bottle is completely empty. Now, if I try to pour this entire 1 liter of bottle to these 2 liters, no, can I be able to do that or not? Can I be able to do that or not? Yes, I can do. So even after transferring the entire 1 liter, no, only half of the bottle will be filled. Only half of the bottle will be filled. Still half will be empty. Why? Because the capacity is 2 liters. Okay. So in this case, is there any water loss? Is there any water loss? Any water loss? No. Okay. So this is what widening, guys. In case of widening, there is no water loss because 1 liter of water I can easily transfer into 2 liters bottle. Still after transferring, there will be free space. 1 liter of free space will be left. Now assume. Assume I have 2 liters of water bottle. This is 2 liters and the 2 liters water bottle is completely filled. It is completely filled. So 2 liters of water it have. So completely filled. Now assume I have 1 liter of water bottle. Assume this is 1 liter. And it is empty bottle. Now if I transfer this 2 liters of water into 1 liter bottle, what happens? Only it can occupy 1 liter, and what about the other liter? Other liter of water will be overflown. Yes or not? Overflown means wasted. Water loss. Correct or not? It can store 1 liter and other 1 liter will be wasted. Correct? Yes. Where this is nothing but narrowing. So in case of narrowing, there is water loss. But this is case 1. Assume this is case 1. Let me take one more scenario. Listen carefully here. Case 2. So assume I have same 2 liters water bottle. This is 2 liters water bottle. And the 2 liters water bottle is half filled. It is half filled. Means how many liters it contains? It contains 1 liter of water. But the capacity is 2 liters capacity. Now, assume I have 1 liter of water bottle here. Empty water bottle. 1 liter of empty water bottle. So now tell me, if I pour this entire water into this water bottle, is there any water loss here? In this case too, is there any water loss? Yes? Correct or not? No. In this case, there is no water loss. In this case, there is no loss. No loss. Why? Because here I have only 1 liter and the capacity of the bottle is also 1 liter. Easily you can transfer. No loss. It means, what is this process? This is also narrowing only. This is also narrowing only. Converting higher range data to lower range data. This is also narrowing only. But when it comes to narrowing, you cannot say always there will be data loss. There might be, or else there might not be. So in this case too, there is no data loss. But in the case 1, there is data loss. So you cannot tell, while converting higher range data to lower range, you cannot always say there will be data loss. There is a chance. There is a chance of data loss. So there is 50-50 chance. So your compiler don't want to take any risk. So your compiler don't want to take any risk. So it will never perform narrowing implicitly. Means automatically your compiler will never do. Why? There is a chance of data loss. So that is why we have to perform the narrowing explicitly. Explicitly means by ourselves we have to do. So how can you do? Using typecast operator. Here A is of what type? Double type. B is of what type? Int type. Means I want to convert this double data to int type data. So I need to use typecast operator, that is int. Now what happens? This double type data will get converted to int and it will be stored in int type container. So now if I print, I will get 12. See? Initially 12.34, then 12. In this case, data loss is there or not? Data loss is there. 12.34, it is converting it to 12. 0.34 is missing. Data loss or not? Yes. So in this case, data loss is there. 0.34 data is getting lost. So this is what data loss. That is why your compiler will not take risk in case of narrowing. But observe this case too. Instead of 12.34, I'll put only 12. So in this scenario, will it be any data loss? In this case, is there any data loss? Now tell me. No. Correct or not? Say. The output will be 12.0. 12.0. Understood, guys? So what is this? This is a typecast operator. Typecast operator. So why do we need this typecast operator? To convert higher range data to lower range data explicitly. Our compiler will not do implicitly, means our compiler will never do automatically. Why? There is a chance of data loss. Since there is a chance of data loss, as a programmer or as a developer, we have to convert externally, explicitly. That is with the help of typecast operator. Clear, everyone? Understood what is widening, what is narrowing? Guys, understood or not? Oh, very good. So why I have thought everything is, listen carefully. If I do like this, and let me print this. So what will be the output, guys? Yeah, you can call it as type conversion. So what is the output? 12.34. See what happens. See what happens here. If I do like this, I'll get compile time error. See? Incompatible types. Possible lossy conversion error from double to float. Means what it is saying. If you directly mention 12.34, it is double value. Double value, I am storing it in float. Double to float, I am trying to do. What is this process? Narrowing. Can narrowing be done implicitly? No. It has to be done explicitly. So you have to use a typecast operator, that is float. Either you have to do like this. See, now you will get output. See, now compile time successful. Now you will get 12.34. Or else, or in this case, that is why we have to specify f. I already told you. If you are going with float, you have to specify f. F means what? Now it is called as float. See, now also you'll get output. Either you should specify f, or else you have to specify with typecast operator. See? So that is why. If I directly tell you this, you will not understand. So here you will not understand what is this possible lossy conversion error, double to float and all. So you should know this. In future concepts also it will be helpful to you. So just remember this. Where it will be useful, again I'll tell you. Understood? Guys, understood or not? Oh. Good. So any doubts in tokens or any doubts in typecasting? If you have any doubts, kindly let me know. Any doubts you are having? Shall we continue? If you have any doubts, kindly ask me. Okay, very good. Casting is done. Yes. So now we'll discuss one of the most important topic, that is operators. The next topic is operators. This is also very important concept, guys. Listen carefully. Operators. So basically these operators are used to perform specific task. Okay. So how will you identify operators? You can identify operators based on symbols. Like these are all called as special symbols. Operators are special symbols, okay, which are used to perform a specific task. Okay. So each and every operator is assigned with some task, guys. For example, if you take plus is also one operator. So what is the job of this plus? So whatever the data we pass, right? So how many data you have to pass? At least two types of data, at least two data you have to pass. So here 10 plus 20. Okay. So this 10 is nothing but what? Here this 10 is nothing but these are called as operands. Remember, these 10 and 20 are called as operands. So what is this operand, sir? Operand is nothing but it is a data which is given as input to the operator. Input to the operator. The data which is given as an input to the operator is nothing but operands. So here plus is nothing but what? It is a operator. So these 10 and 20 we are giving as an input to the 10, sorry, to the plus. For this plus operator, we are giving this 10 and 20 as inputs. So that is why it is called as operands. This is called as operator. Okay. Here, what is the job assigned to this plus operator? The job assigned to the plus operator is to perform addition between 10 and 20. Means the output is 30. Clear? So like this, every operator is assigned with some specific task. So as a programmer, we cannot change the task associated for that. Okay. So we can directly make use of it. That's it. You are not supposed to change the task allocated for it. Okay. Assume here what is the task allocated for plus to perform addition. Now I cannot make that plus to perform subtraction or to perform multiplication. Not possible. So if it is used for addition, you have to use it for addition only. Clear? Remember this, very important. Operands. The data which is given as an input to the operator is nothing but operand. 10 and 20 are input to plus operator. So that is why 10 and 20 are called as operands. Okay. So based on these operands, it is classified into three types, guys. First one is unary operator. Unary operator, binary operator, and third one is ternary operator. Ternary operator. So what is unary operator? The operator which accepts one operand as input. The operator which accepts one operand as input. For example, just now we have discussed. Here while performing narrowing. Double of A is equal to 12.34 and int of B is equal to, we have to use the typecast operator here. Int of A. So what is this int? This int is a typecast operator. For this typecast operator, how many inputs I am giving? only one. That is why it is called as unary operator. The typecast operator is an example of unary operator. Means only one input. Only one input. So example of unary operator is typecast operator. So the example is unary operator. So typecast operator. Example for unary operator is typecast operator. Binary. The operator which accepts two operands as input. Two operands as input. For example, plus operator. So how many inputs I am giving? I am giving two inputs. So that is why binary. So ternary means three operators. Three operands. Operator which contains three operands as input. Understood, guys? Example we'll discuss. So just get some basic idea. Understand till now? So based on these operands, it is further classified into classification of just a second. Classification of operators. Okay. First one, arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operator. Second one, assignment operator. Third one, logical operator. Increment or decrement operator. Bitwise operator. Conditional operator. And last one is relational operator. And other than this, there are many operators. So which comes under miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. So this will discuss it further. Now not what. So these are all the 7 most important operators. So in this bitwise operators will never use. So the replacement for bitwise operator is logical operator. So the mainly we have to concentrate on arithmetic, assignment, logical, increment or decrement, conditional, relational. So these 6 are very important. Okay. So now let us discuss what is arithmetic operator. Basically, arithmetic operators are nothing but plus, minus, multiplication, division, modular division. So these are all basic arithmetic operators, guys. So we already know. So plus is used for addition. This is minus is used for subtraction. This star is used for multiplication. This slash is used for division. And this percentile is used for modular division. Remember carefully, this is for division. This is for modular division. So what is the difference? Sir, what is the difference between division and modular division? Let me tell you, listen carefully. So assume I have 10 divided by 2. So what is the output? 10 modular division 2. What is the output? Can anyone tell me? I'll tell you, listen. Listen carefully, I'll tell you. Normally, when you divide 10 with 2, 2 5s are 10. So what is the remainder? Remainder is 0. This you call it as remainder. This you call it as quotient. Okay. So whenever if you perform normal division, in this case, the output will be quotient. That is 5. Output will be quotient. If you use modular division, then your output will be remainder. That is 0. This is very important. Remember this. When you use normal division, output will be quotient. When you use modular division, the output will be remainder. Clear? Clear or not? Yes. So now let us see one basic example for arithmetic operators. Let me declare int a is equal to 10 into b is equal to some 20. Or else some 5 assume. In this case, I'll use a plus b. A plus b. So what is the value of a? A value is 10 plus 5, that is 15. Output is 15. So if I use a minus b, the output is 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. If I use multiplication, 10 into 5 is 50. 50 is the output. If I use normal division, 10 divided by 5, what is the output? It is quotient. That is 2. If I use modulus division, then what is the remainder? Remainder is 0. This is what the expected output is. Arithmetic. So let me compile this. Java C arithmetic.java compile time successful. See 15 5 52 0. So this is what? This is how you will use arithmetic operators. Clear, guys? Arithmetic operators, these are all we know. How addition, subtraction, multiplication works. Clear, right? How division, modulus division works, it is very important. So now, second one, that is assignment operator. This is also very important. Listen carefully. Assignment operator. So what is this assignment? So assignment is nothing but assigning the value. For example, assume I have variable a and I have value 10. Assume. Now, how can I assign this 10 to a? How can I assign? Using equals operator. This equals operator is nothing but this is assignment operator. Assignment operator is used to assign the data. So here equals is an example for assignment, means to assign the data. So like this, there are many types. Equals to, then plus is equal to, minus is equal to, multiplication is equal to, division is equal to, modular division equal to. Sir, we know is equal to. Now we have discussed. So since starting we are using this equals. And what about plus is equal, minus equal, multiplication equal, division equals, modular division equals? What is this? Simple. This plus is equal to, let me give with one example. A plus is equal to B. If I use like that. A is equal to A plus B. Similar. Either you can directly declare it or else you can declare like this also. So what happens here? First it will perform addition between A and B. And that result, whatever the result will get, that result will be assigned to A container. For example, listen, I will tell you. I have int A is equal to 10. Int B is equal to 5. If I do like this, system dot out dot println A plus is equal to B, what happens? So I already told you the statement is equivalent to A is equal to A plus B. This is also correct. This is also correct. This is just a short form. This is directly you can do like this also. Both are same. Now how it works? First it performs addition between A and B. So what is A value? 10 plus 5 is 15. Now whatever the result you get, 15 is stored inside A. So initially what is A value? A value is 10. Now it will get changed to 15. So now that A value will get substituted here. Means that A value will get printed. Means A means how much? 15. So that 15 will get. Understood, guys? Understood or not? Okay. Now we'll see how many of you got understood. So here already 15, you know. Yeah, now tell me the output for others. Tell me the output. So type the output, let me see. Output at once like this. Like common I have typed 55020. Okay. 55020. No, we'll see here. Listen carefully. Listen. How it will work, listen. When compiler enters, like when compiler encounters this line, A container will get created and 10 will be stored. When control comes to the next line, B container will get created and 5 will be stored. And when compiler comes to this line, so here what happens? This is equivalent to A plus A is equal to A plus B, which means what is the value of A? 10 plus 5, that is 15. That 15 is stored inside A. So initially it is 10, now it will get replaced with 15. And this A is substituted. A is substituted here. So what is the value of A? It is 15. So 15 will be the output. When control comes to next line, A is equal to A minus B. That is 15 minus 5. That is 10. Now this 10 will be stored again inside A. It means your A will be replaced with 10 and that A will be substituted. That is 10. Now A is equal to A into B. So what is the value of A? 10 into 5, that is 50. This 50 is stored inside A. Now A value becomes 50 and that 50 will be substituted over here. Now A is equal to A divided by B. So what is the value of A? A value is 50 divided by B. What is the B value? B value is 5. So 5 ones are 5 tens are. So 10 is output. Again that 10 will be stored inside A. So now that 10 will be replaced and the 10 will be substituted. And now when it comes to A is equal to A modulus of B. So here what happens? What is A value? A value is 10 modulus of 5. So which is remainder 0. Now your A will be replaced with 0. Here 0 will be substituted. 15, 10, 50, 10, 0. 15, 10, 50, 10, 0. Ten, 50, 10, 0. And finally, if I print value of A, what will be the value of A? If I print value of A and if I print value of B. So what is the value of A here? The value of A is what is stored inside a container. There is the value stored inside A is 0. See here 0 and the value of B is 5. 0 here 5. See 0. Understood guys how assignment operator works? Clear? So PDF I will share you in PPT format, need not to worry. Okay. Yeah. So okay, so that's all for today guys. So again we'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue our operators concept. Fine. Okay. Thank you guys.
So team, I shared the attendance and feedback link in the chat box over Zoom and YouTube. So please mark your attendance and share your feedback as well. I hope all of you are able to access the material via LMS recording sessions. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the chat box. Unable to open, but what Weibo? Recordings, materials. So Suma, if you're facing any difficulty to see the lectures, so you can just simply drop an email to edl@xlr.com. What we need to send once again home? Attendance link. Okay, yeah, sure. Shared. Are you saying attendance link is not opening? Let me check. Hey, it's opening here. You're lying with me? Okay, let me check. Guys, it's opening for me. Participants are already filling the form as well. I'm receiving the responses. And I'm also checking it's open for all. Attendance and feedback form, campus document 27th January. Yeah, it's open. We already submitted, sir. Yeah, thank you. Nihara, it's opening, na? Arey Baba, it's opening. Let's refresh. It's opening. So those who are not opening to them, I think there is some issue at your end. It's open, already submitted. Okay, if you're clicking on the link, it's not opening, but if you're copy pasting, it's opening. Something is like that. So now you can try, guys. Okay, 1 minute, guys. I will do one thing. I will reshare that link with you. What is the issue? Let me check. Just give me 1 minute. Those who are not able to open, 1 minute. Guys, now I shared it once again. Submitted, sir. Few of you are submitted, few of you are not submitted. I think it's not reverting. That's okay. If it's not reverting, you can simply copy that link and paste it over in Chrome browser. And I again share the attendance link. Please try it now. And once you're done with your attendance, let me know in the chat box. Then we'll wind up for the day. Done with attendance, sir. Thank you. It is same attendance link, guys. You have to mark your attendance only once. If you're done, no problem. You can leave for the day. Okay, you will get the reply. Yeah, no problem. Good afternoon, sir. I am new to this session. Please share me the LMS access. So, Bhavna, when you are done with your registration, guys, it's opening for all. Don't say me attendance is not opening. It's attending opening for me. It's opening for lots of participants. If there is any issue at your end, you can check. You can change the system. Working for me. Both link working fine. Thank you so much. Sir, are you from Maharashtra? Yes, Vaibhav. I am from Pune. By Zoom, you register. How you register using Zoom? You have to register using the registration link. Okay, so for those link is not working, no need to worry. If you miss one day, there is no issue because you are attending all the days. And if you're not able to fill this form from here, you can visit the LMS. Okay, so thank you so much to your participants for attending the session, and we'll meet you on tomorrow at same time. We'll start session at 10:30. So till the time, take care of yourself, take care of your